Yes, this is what I have so far. This is dry. I'm going to add a different color of layer on it. Remember, I'm working from smallest to largest, so these were smallest. They came first. On top of that, I'm doing larger brush strokes, and then on top of that, I'm going to do even larger brush strokes. I'm going to do a different color that I haven't used before. So this is yellow. I'm still using a color scheme though. I'm using the primary color scheme of red, yellow, and blue. And so this is going on top of the blue, but in the print, when I print it on clay, it will actually go behind. Okay, so I've got this, and I do need to let it dry completely before I print it on the clay. I've also got my slab right here. That's still kind of sticky, so I need to let that underglaze that I put on dry before I Okay, this has to be completely dry before you can print it on there. So if you want to do it a couple days ahead of time even, you can let it sit out. Just try not to wrinkle the paper too much because sometimes the underglaze will crack off. This right here the slab, the clay should be still wet enough to curve it, but the underglaze on it should be dry so it's not reflecting light and not wet and sticky. So, when you're ready, you're going to get a clean sponge. I'm going to put it face down so the underglaze is facing the clay. I've got the white underglaze on top of the clay as a layer. And now I'm just going to take it in place and kind of smooth it down. So this is really working like a press-on tattoo. But I am getting a few wrinkles in my paper, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Other than that, I'm just trying to squeegee it on. Use your rubber kidney to kind of flatten it all on there. And transfer all of that. And the sponge here is really rehydrating the underglaze as well because it's dried out. You want, you can peel back a layer. Okay, so you can see when I peel it back, this is not transferred. So I'm going to put it back on there. But that's kind of what it's going to look like. And I think instead of peeling the paper off now, I'm just going to leave the paper on there. Because if you fire it with the paper on there, it will just burn out anyway. So I'm going to carefully, with the paper still stuck to it, peel off my slab. Got my plaster drape mold. And I'm just going to lay this on my plaster drape mold. And I'm trying to center it. Since this is still a wet enough slab, it should mold to your drape mold. So we're trying to get it in a bowl shape. Okay, so I've got that sized. Do need to score and slip it. Try to put it in the center.